Welcome to another rendition of Marissa's Nubian romance novels. Welcome. Thank you for joining me again on tonight. I appreciate you. I would just like to update you on the previous chapters so we can move forward. And so in chapters 5 and 6, we learned about Don Paul going over to Eve's house to bring Lane home. Don Paul realized that he was not really going to be able to bring his son out of Eve's home because he saw that he was really thriving there and that he wanted to be with Samantha and his son Solomon. He got to meet Solomon and fell in love with his grandson, as most grandparents do. And then, how often do we ask God to get us through things we know we ain't got no business doing, right? So that was the case with the good Reverend Marcus Cook, asking God to please God, let me love her good just one more time. God said, not so. And so their relationship is a little up in the air. And so now you are going to get a closer look, be introduced further into Margaret and to Cato's mother, Maybelle, Eve's best friend. So tonight I will be bringing to you chapters 7 and 8. Good morning, Maybelle said as she answered the phone in a sing-song voice. What's so good about it? How come that heifer still got my son in her house, huh? How come she's still seeing the good Reverend? I pay you good money, Maybelle. Well, good morning to you, Margaret. Things take time, and you need to stop yelling at me. Margaret was silent. You looking from the outside in, Margaret. You don't know what's going on inside of that house. Oh, really? I know more than you think I know. And I probably know more than you. I know my son is still living there with the blessings of his daddy. That's what I know. I know Don Paul going over there to see that half-breed grandchild of his. That's what I know. I know he come through the door every night last week with a full stomach. That's what I know. What do you know, Maybelle? Nothing. This time, it was Maybelle's turn to be silent. She knew Margaret was paying her good money to work black magic on her best friend. But she took Margaret's money every time to help pay for the cost of removing the spell that she knew someone had put on Eve. Someone with strong powers had weaved that spell, a spell that violently took all 5 of Eve's husbands, left her a widow, and caused every one of her daughters to be fatherless. Maybelle had spent many waking hours trying to remove that curse. Who in the world would be so spiteful as to do something like that to Eve? As far as Maybelle knew, Eve had mostly stayed to herself the whole time they grew up together. Even after her mama died, Eve came to live with her and her mom because their mothers were best friends. She never hung around crowds, and Maybelle could see why, really. Eve had trouble making friends through no fault of her own. Most of the girls were envious of her perfect figure and her flawless dark complexion. And the young men were intimidated by her strong personality. Maybelle loved Eve like a sister. She was never threatened by her. Maybelle had made it her personal crusade to undo this powerful spell. And if it meant taking Margaret's money to do it, she was going to take every dime and pretend that she and Eve were enemies. Maybelle, you hear me talking to you, gal? Maybelle. I hear you, Margaret. Look, just hold your horses. Slow down. I mean, I can't help it if Don Powell got Eve in his heart. That just makes it harder. Excuse me, Margaret. Cato, son, breakfast is ready. Come on and eat while it's hot now. Come on, Cato. Excuse me, Margaret. You were saying? Coming, Mama. Maybelle, I'm losing him. I'm losing him all over again. Margaret, I'm sorry, honey. There's nothing more I can do for you. Don Powell's love is thick. It's thick, Margaret. If they was living any other place than Mississippi, they would probably be married or living together or something by now, and that's just the truth of the matter. Honey, I can't do nothing about the way he feels about her. What about my money? You took all my money. Your money has been spent, Margaret. Now, I did the absolute best I could. You need to leave Eve alone. She ain't been with Don Powell since the day he said I do to you, and you know it. Tain't her fault he still got her in his nose. Tain't her fault at all. Margaret was silent. Margaret? Goodbye, Maybelle. Margaret slammed down the telephone. Woo-hoo, she mad. Well, goodbye to you too. Cato, boy, you ain't dressed yet. Coming, Mama, Cato said, entering the kitchen. How do I look? My goodness, boy, who you dressing for? Naomi. Look like my daddy, don't I? Well, yes, you do. And certainly, I hope she certainly appreciates it. She does, Mama. She does. Kato, son. Yes, ma'am. You and Miss Naomi ain't, y'all ain't, no, Mama, we ain't, nothing, Cato said, laughing. You know what I mean, boy. Nah, Mama, I just thought I'd look extra special since we were taking pictures today. Remember? Yes, I remember. But since when you put on a suit and tie for him? Since Naomi said she would be my woman. Your woman? She ain't no woman, Cato. Well, Mama, she'll be 15 next week. You gonna let me go to a party, ain't you, Mama? Mama. Yeah, I said you could go, boy. Calm your nerves. Here, you want a biscuit? Yes, ma'am. What, ain't no molasses, Mama? You ain't made no molasses? Boy, if it was a snake, it'd been done bit you. I swear, you just like your father. If it ain't directly in your eye, you ain't gonna move an inch to the left or to the right to find it. There it is. Oh, Cato said, noticing it on the table behind the salt and pepper shakers. Mama. Yes. I was wondering if I could have an advance on my allowance. I want to buy Naomi something special. She's my girlfriend now. I can't let nobody get her something more than me, Mama. Kato, you gonna spend all your money on that girl? You done bought her 2 gifts already as it is. Kato looked at Maybelle with shock. What? You thought I didn't know? I know everything you do, boy. Kato looked down in his plate. Honey, you don't have to buy Miss Naomi. If she likes you, baby, she gonna want to be with you just because of your kindness, son. Just because of who you are as a young man. Now, you listen to what Mama's saying to you. I know, Mama. I know. Oh, by the way, Mama, you do know Naomi wants to be a doctor, don't you? Does she now? That's new. I thought it was Pandora who wanted to be a doctor. I mean, a doctor like you, Mama. Boy, you ain't told her my business, have you? Gracious, Mama, everybody in town know what you do and who you are. Why you always trying to hide it? Well, I don't know, but relax, woman. Besides, she done grew up around you her whole life. Shoot, all of them have. You think they don't know what you do, Mama? Really? Kato chuckled at his mother as he continued eating. Maybelle looked at her son devouring his breakfast, and for a second she saw her late husband sitting before her. Whew, Lord have mercy, Raymond. That boy looks just like you, sounds like you, eat like you. I wish you were here to see him, baby. You would be so proud of your son. Lord, please don't let him get that girl pregnant. I know they doing something. Maybelle prayed to herself. Well, I have to go, Mama. Hold on, Kato. Swallow your food. You gonna mess around and choke to death. Can't, Mama. Gotta go, Kato said, turning up a huge glass of milk. I can't be late, Mama. I promised Naomi I'd walk her to school today. Did Eve say that was okay, Kato? Yes, ma'am. I asked her when I walked Naomi home last night. And she said it was all right for you to walk her to school today, Kato? Yes, ma'am, she did, Mama. Cross my heart and hope to die. You gone and be good, Mama. You know you my favorite girl, Kato said, giving his mother a bright smile and a kiss on the cheek. Thanks for breakfast, Mama. It was delicious. Have a good day. You too, son. Oh, here, wait a minute, here. Take this, Maybelle said, reaching down her brassiere, withdrawing a small roll of money. Will 60 be enough? 60? Boy, that's plenty, Mama. Thank you so much, Kato said, swinging his mother around in his arms as he smothered her face with kisses. Boy, put me down. You gonna be mopping floors for a whole month, Maybelle said, laughing as she enjoyed the excitement with her son. Like I said, Mama, she gonna be worth it. Naomi's my girlfriend, Mama. Can you believe it? I mean, who'd have thought she'd want somebody like me? What you mean? Somebody like you? Don't get me wrong, Mama. I mean, I know I'm a good-looking man. I mean, I am my father's son. I'm just saying, I wasn't making good grades in school, Mama. I had trouble learning. I know I did. I mean, Naomi don't hardly even study nothing. And she makes straight A's. It's like she knows everything. Since we've been seeing one another, Mama, I done went from D's to C's to B's. Naomi said the trick of learning is just finding a way to make your brain understand the information, and I done figured that out. It's getting easier and easier, Mama, and Naomi did that for me. She helped me find a way. Come on now, you know you glad I'm making better grades, Mama. You know I'm proud of you, son. Yeah, I know. I'm proud of me too. I love you, Mama. Gotta go. Don't want to be late, Cato said, giving his mother another kiss. Be careful out there, baby. Why I gotta be careful, Mama? I know you got me covered. And God too. Oh boy, get on out of here. I love you, Mama. I love you too, son. Chapter 8. Hmm. Who she thinks she is? She getting her son ready for school, calling him to the breakfast table, Margaret said with scorn as she cracked 2 eggs in a bowl and mixed them briskly. I ain't got no son to call to the table. I should have known better. All them nigger heifers the same. Maybelle ain't no different. I declare, if I ever find out that heifer used my money to help Eve, she gonna be sorry. Margaret opened her oven, pulled out a black frying pan, and slammed it on top of the stove. He got her in his nose, in his heart. If they was living someplace else, they'd be together. The nerve of her saying something like that to me. He got her in his nose. I declare, if times were different, I'd string that black bitch up and whoop the black off of her back. Margaret screamed uncontrollably. She calmed herself as she poured some grease in the pan and tossed some sliced potatoes in it. She inhaled deeply and exhaled slowly to compose her emotions. Margaret looked toward the ceiling as she heard the shower running. She knew Don Powell was preparing to go to Eve's house. She hated to see him come downstairs with a look of contentment on his face, while she was feeling nothing but bitterness inside. Yes, he always put it off on Blaine, that he was going to help Blaine out with the baby, like Eve wasn't really doing nothing for that child. She knew they probably had to ask Eve if they could take that child out of her sight. Margaret peeled an onion, cut it up, and tossed it in with the potatoes and then covered the pan. Again, she looked toward the ceiling as she heard the closet door open. Wonder what he wearing today for her benefit. He ain't put on a pair of overalls or his work boots in almost 3 months. Closet full of new clothes, new shoes, she said as she separated the bacon and put it in a pan. His clothes better than mine. Everybody talking how he having his pants made. He probably trying to outdress that Reverend Cook. I am so sick and tired of that heifer coming before me. I wish to God I had to let her have him. But no, Margaret, you just had to push it. I'd rather seen both of them dead for my life than for my life to have turned out like this. Why couldn't she just let him come to her in the night? Then everybody would have been happy. But no, she too good for that. Like she better than any decent white woman. I wish it was 100 years ago. I'd have sold that black heifer. Margaret started laughing hysterically and soon began to cry. The thought hit her that Don Powell would have given their last dime and probably even sold all of their land to get Eve back. Margaret walked out on the back porch to hide her screams and cries from Don Paul because the walls in their house were paper thin. Hell, he couldn't even put her in a halfway decent home. But she knew if it had been Eve, he would have built that house from the ground up with his bare hands. I hate this house, she said as she wiped her eyes and looked in the mirror she hung on the side of the house. Margaret had placed the mirror there so she could always check her appearance before she came inside. She knew she wasn't the most attractive woman, but she did the best she could by keeping her hair combed and styled and keeping her makeup in place. Now look at you, makeup running everywhere, as if you don't already look a mess, she said, scolding herself. One day I'm gonna get me some mud and put it all over my body. Maybe then he'll want me. Maybe. Margaret stared in the mirror at her reflection. She wondered what Eve looked like today. She hoped that she was just as unattractive as she felt. She hoped that she was just as miserable inside because she had been a widow 5 times. Margaret wiped at her face and remembered the last time she saw Eve. What you gonna marry Don Paul for, Margaret? Everybody in town know he don't want you, Margaret's little sister Amanda asked as she ate her vanilla ice cream cone. Margaret felt a pain shoot through her body, but she brushed it off. She knew Amanda didn't mean to hurt her feelings. "'Cause I ain't as pretty as you, Amanda. Ain't nobody else around here gonna want to marry me." "That's not true, Margaret. You pretty to me." Margaret embraced her little sister and held her hand as they walked. "Well, thank you, Amanda, but you ain't no man. And men like pretty women shaped like Coca-Cola bottles." "Like what?" Amanda asked, thoroughly enjoying her ice cream cone. "Why would a man want a woman shaped like a bottle, Margaret?" "Just 'cause, Amanda, just 'cause." Just as they rounded the curve, Margaret spotted Eve walking ahead of them. "Oh, Margaret, there's Eve." "Shh, hush now, hush. So she don't know we behind her, hush." "Why? I like Eve. She's always nice to me." "She better be. Niggas supposed to be nice to us." "Oh, really? Why?" "Just 'cause they are." "Well, then, how come we ain't nice back to them? They don't never bother us." Margaret looked at her little sister. "Just 'cause we just ain't supposed to be nice to them. Now hush now." Margaret picked up several rocks and told her sister to stand behind the tree. "Well, what you gonna do with them rocks, Margaret?" "Hush now and do like I say." Margaret ran ahead of Amanda and ducked behind a tree. Mistakenly, Eve didn't know she was behind her. Eve turned around abruptly. "Margaret, you throw them rocks, you better make sure they kill me. 'Cause if they don't, I'm gonna sure enough kill you." Margaret froze in her steps and held her breath. "I see you, Margaret. You so bad now. Come out from in behind that tree." "Dang it. she said, scolding herself for being caught. I ain't got to hide from you, Eve. Huh. You ain't even classified as a person. Got to hide from you, Margaret said, stepping from behind the tree. What you want, Margaret? You gonna leave Don Paul alone. He don't want to be bothered with the likes of you no more. He getting ready to marry a decent woman. Oh, yeah? And who might that be? Who is she? Eve asked as she put one hand on her hip and held her books tightly with the other. You think you something special, you black heifer. You think you better than everybody else just cause your mammy make your clothes and you built the way you are and you got that black skin. Well, Margaret, you must think I am, cause you the one always bringing all that up. Margaret felt rage building inside of her. I hate you, Eve. You won't be so pretty when I get through with you, Margaret said as she began assaulting Eve with the rocks in her hands. Eve dodged the rocks as she ran toward Margaret, knocking her to the ground. Amanda ate her ice cream with excitement. It was as if she were watching a movie scene unfolding before her very eyes. Amanda! Amanda! Help me! Amanda, help me! Amanda didn't move. She liked Eve because Eve would help her with her homework when no one else would or could. No, she was not going to help her sister beat up Eve. And besides, Margaret had started it anyway. You better leave me alone, Margaret. I'm about tired of you messing with me. Don Paul don't want you. He loves me. He loves me, Eve screamed as she wailed assaults upon Margaret. I'm tired of you thinking you better than me just cause you white. You ain't nothing but trash. You can't even get a boy to look at you unless your daddy make him or pay him. Margaret curled in a fetal position to protect herself. When Eve realized that she was not fighting back, she stopped her assault. Now you make this your last time messing with me, Margaret. I ain't never bothered you. I can't stop Don Paul from coming around me even if I wanted to. And I don't want him to. You better go on somewhere and leave me alone. I'm gonna get you, you black heifer. My daddy gonna string you up on a tree and I'm gonna watch him do it. I'm gonna put the rope around your neck myself. Eve stopped in her tracks. When you come, Margaret, you better make sure you bring the whole town with you, Eve said through clenched teeth. Margaret looked in Eve's sharp eyes and her body filled with fear. Eve dusted off her clothes, picked up her books, and continued walking up the road as if nothing had ever happened. Amanda! Amanda! Where you at, girl? Amanda! Yes, you call me, she said, stepping from behind a tree onto the dirt road. Didn't you hear me calling you? I know you heard me, Eve said as she dusted off her own clothes. No, I didn't. I went down to the creek. What in the world, Margaret? She asked, looking at her sister's battered face. Amanda tried to hide her chuckle by coughing. You saw her hit me. No such a thing, Margaret, no such a thing. Amanda continued to cough. Margaret eyed her suspiciously. Well, you gonna tell Daddy you did anyway, even if you didn't. Am not. You heard me, Amanda. I will not. What I saw, Margaret, was you throw a rock at her first. That's what I'm gonna tell him. You know he told you to leave Eve alone before all the colored folk come from across them tracks and all hell break loose. You started it, Margaret. Just cause I'm your little sister don't mean I gotta do wrong just cause you tell me to. I ain't gonna do it. Margaret looked at her little sister and knocked the remainder of her ice cream cone from her hand. Amanda looked at her ice cream cone on the ground, mingling with the dirt. And then she looked up at her sister. She looked back down at her ice cream cone. And she looked back at her sister. You gonna do like I said, gal, you hear me? Amanda looked at her ice cream cone again, laying on the ground. I sure am gonna tell Daddy. Uh-huh. I'm gonna tell Daddy just what happened. Except I'm gonna tell him the truth. You know he gonna believe me over you cause I'm his favorite. I'm the baby. He gonna whoop the skin plumb off of your back cause he told you don't mess with that gal. Now what you gonna do is go back to town and get me another ice cream cone, Margaret. That's what you fixing to do. And this time, I want 2 scoops. And while you in the store, Margaret, you need to get some makeup to cover up them scratches. I declare, you look about a mess. Margaret was brought back to reality because she heard Don Paul anxiously calling her name. Margaret! Margaret! The damn bacon is on fire, Margaret! Don Paul yelled as he removed the frying pan from the stove and set it in the sink and put a lid on it to smother the fire. Margaret ran in the house and stopped in her tracks. She realized that she must look a mess for Don Paul to be staring at her with a contorted face. Don Paul couldn't believe his eyes. Lord Almighty, shit looked like something the cat done drug in, he said to himself. Margaret, what's wrong with you? Look at you. Margaret wiped her face, only smearing her makeup worse. What you put that stuff on your face for, Margaret? You look a mess. What you trying to do? Burn the damn house down? Look at this mess. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Don Paul. I was getting from some potatoes from outside. I didn't think I was gone that long. What happened to your face, Margaret? Don Paul asked, because he just couldn't believe how hideous she looked. I was peeling the onion and forgot to wash my hands after and rub my eyes. Just give me a minute to get cleaned up, Don Paul, and I'll fix you some breakfast. I won't be but a minute, she said, walking past him. Nah, don't worry about cooking for me. I'm gonna get something on the way. I told Blaine I would take him to school today. You just go on upstairs and take care of yourself, Margaret. But it won't take me but a minute to get cleaned up, Don Paul. You didn't eat dinner last night. You must be half starved. No, I'm all right. I'll make do. You go on and get yourself fixed up. I'll be back after a while. Now go on, Margaret. Damn. he said, not wanting to look at her any longer. Well, what time you gonna be back, Don Paul? After Eve tells you it's time for you to leave her house? Is that when you gonna come back? Margaret, I'm not gonna stand here and argue with you. I told you I'm going to take Blaine to school. I hate you, Don Paul. Don Paul looked at Margaret as he weighed his response. Margaret, you could have stopped all this. You could have. You the one caused your own unhappiness, not me, not Eve. You know I didn't love you from the beginning. You knew I loved Eve. You knew I only married you because my pa threatened to kill her if I didn't. All you had to do was say no, you didn't want to marry me, but you didn't. I've given you all I could give you, Margaret. Loving you and acting like a husband wasn't a part of the deal, and you knew that. You should have let me go after Blaine was born. Hell, I held up my end of the bargain. I gave you a baby. I could have married Eve after that, after her first husband died. So don't go blaming me for the way your life done turned out. You did this, not me, you. I ain't never tried to hide my feelings from you or nobody else. I'm tired of you blaming me for your life. Margaret was silent. She knew Don Paul was telling her the truth, but it hurt all the same. Get out. Get out! And go to your black heifer. Don Paul started to defend Eve, but he knew Margaret was just trying to goad him into an altercation to keep him there longer. He knew she would love for Eve to see his face all scratched up. He wasn't going to have it. Nice try, Margaret, he said, walking out of the kitchen. Margaret picked up a glass and threw it in Don Paul's direction, but he never turned around. He walked through the house and out the front door, leaving Margaret to her own demise. As Don Paul closed the door of his truck, he heard dishes breaking and Margaret wailing verbal assaults at an imaginary Eve. Poor thing, he said, putting his truck in drive and pulled out onto the dirt road. I guess I best start investing in some of them paper plates that's done come out. I'm about tired of buying new dishes every week, he said with a smile as he put his truck in second gear and crossed the railroad tracks, knowing soon he would see Eve's smiling face greeting him at the door. Oh, mama, here come Cato, and he got on a suit too, Camille informed everyone as she ran into the kitchen. Eve noticed how Naomi began twitching in her seat. She seemed to be enjoying her pancakes as if she were tasting them for the first time. Lord, that girl better not roll up in here with no baby, Eve said to herself. Cato, this early in the morning? Hold your horses, boy, I'm coming, Eve said as she left the kitchen and answered the door. Morning, Cato. Morning, Miss Eve. Naomi ready? Not quite. She's still eating breakfast. Care for some? No, thank you. I just finished, Cato said, looking past Eve in hopes of catching a glimpse of Naomi. Well, come on in. You ain't gonna get a glimpse of her from here. She in the kitchen. Thank you, Miss Eve, he said, entering the house. My goodness, you look awfully special today, boy. You just look just like your daddy. Thank you, Miss Eve. You and Naomi planning on taking pictures together or something? Eve asked as she noticed that they both had on navy blue and white. Cato smiled. Well, to tell you the truth, Miss Eve, we gonna ask the photographer if he could take pictures of us together, seeing we in the same class and all. Uh-huh, I see. Well, you go on. You know where the kitchen is. Hello, Eve said, answering the phone in the foyer. Good morning, baby. Morning, Marcus. You feeling all right? Baby, you usually here by now. You sound mighty low. I know. I don't feel too good this morning, baby. I'm gonna go on over and see Doc David after a while. You need me to bring you something, baby? Well, I probably could use some of that chicken noodle soup you make. I can't seem to keep nothing on my stomach. Oh, you poor thing, Marcus. I'll make it right away. I'll be over directly. No. I don't want you to catch whatever it is I got. You got your children to tend to. I'll be all right. You just leave it on the porch, Eve. I mean that. You leave it on the porch. You sure, baby? Yeah, I'll give you a call when I get back. If I feel better, I'm going to go on and go to work. All right, then. You call me as soon as you walk in the door now. You hear me? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Eve. Anytime, Marcus, Eve said, hanging up the phone. Lord have mercy. Let me call Maybelle and see what's going on with my baby. Y'all, hurry up. You gonna be late. Eve was anxious for all the children to leave the house so she could speak freely with Maybelle. Blaine, put that boy down and let him walk. You carry him so much he gonna forget what his legs and feet are for. Put that boy down. I know, Mama. I just want him to know I love him, that's all. He knows, Blaine. Believe me, he knows, Eve said, smiling at him. All right, Solomon. Daddy has to go to school now, and from school I'll be going directly to work. I'll see you when I get home. You be sure and take care of Grandma until we get home. Solomon smiled at Eve. Yes, he knows just what you're talking about, don't you, Solomon? Yes, my baby's smart as a whip. Look at my baby. Come on, Samantha, we gonna be late for school. I'm coming, Samantha said, coming up the hallway, eating a sausage and egg biscuit. Y'all have a good day and smile pretty now. We will, Blaine and Samantha said in unison. Bye, little man. You be good for Grandma. Mommy loves you, and I'll see you soon as I get out of school today, okay? Samantha said, running her hands through her son's thick black curly locks. Look, Blaine, it's your father. Blaine looked through the curtains and opened the door. Morning, son, Miss Samantha. Eve. And a special good morning to you, Solomon, Don Paul said, picking him up in his arms. Hey, Granddaddy. Blaine looked at his father and wondered why he never treated him the way he treated Solomon. How you doing, Solomon, huh? Your granddaddy been thinking about you all night long, boy. I declare I missed you, Don Paul said, laughing. Solomon laughed and hugged Don Paul's neck tightly. Y'all fixing to leave for school? Yes, sir. Well, how about a ride? Matter of fact, all y'all come on. I got plenty of room in the truck. Come on. Don Paul, where you think you going with Solomon? Don't worry, Eve. He'll be all right. I know I ain't gonna have to worry because he ain't going nowhere. He's staying right here. Blaine's heart relaxed and Samantha allowed herself to breathe. Oh, come on, Eve. I wouldn't let nothing happen to him. I'm his grandfather. I got just as much right to him as you do. I said no. You got a hearing problem or something? Eve, no, Don Paul. What you gonna do if Margaret sees you with him, huh? You know folk gonna tell her they saw you with him, and she gonna make it her business to find you while you got him. I swear I hate to have to kill that heifer over something that can be avoided, Don Paul. Cause if she so much as look at my grandchild cross, I'm gonna send her straight to hell. Now I said no. If you want to spend some time with him, you more than welcome to come back. Don Paul kissed his grandson's forehead and then gave him to Eve. I'm sorry. I know you right. You right, Eve. I don't know what I was thinking about. I'm just so proud of him, Eve. This is my first grandchild. I got the chance to have the relationship with Solomon that I didn't have with my own son. I ain't all bad, Eve. I know you ain't Don Paul. I know you ain't bad. But please, Margaret can't handle none of this. Next thing you know, she gonna call that no good brother of hers and he gonna be here. Now, just leave it alone. You welcome to come anytime and see him. You know that, Eve said, softening her tone. Well, when can I ever take him? When he's old enough and strong enough to fight back and find his way home. That's when. You mean when he's grown? Exactly. Now, the kid's gonna be late for school. You still offering that ride or what? Yes, Don Paul said, feeling defeated. Don Paul, how you gonna go about swinging? Don Paul, how about you swing on back by here after you drop the kids off at school and feed him breakfast? He ain't done nothing but mess this morning. I'm sure he'd love for you to feed him. Suddenly, Don Paul felt enthusiasm coming back to him. It amazed him how just a little acknowledgement from Eve made all the difference in the world to him. Thank you, Eve. All right, now, let's go, y'all. Bye, Mama. Can I sit in the front, Mr. Pearson? Why, of course, Miss Jolene. My goodness, you all look so good this morning. What's going on? School pictures, Pandora informed him. Mama, me and Cato want to walk. Well, get on then before y'all late. And don't be stopping off nowhere, Naomi, Eve said, eyeing her daughter suspiciously. Shoot, she get on my nerves, Naomi thought to herself. Yes, ma'am. Bye, Solomon, Naomi said, kissing her nephew. Later, dude, Cato said, holding Solomon's hand and giving him a gentle pound. Solomon laughed and gave Cato a solid pound, as if he had been doing the handshake all his life. Did you see that? I taught him how to do that. Boy, you did not, Naomi said, laughing. He been given a pound. He just felt like giving you a decent one today because he's decided that he likes you. Ain't that right, Solomon? Solomon fell into Cato's legs. He wrapped his arms around him. Cato! Hey, that's my name. He said my name. That's me. Naomi sucked her teeth. Oh, come on here, boy, she said, pulling Cato's arm. Solomon been talking. Come on, Cato, we gonna be late. Bye, Mama. Bye, baby. Have a good day. Samantha, ma'am, you be sure and hold your tongue in school today, young lady. Yes, Mama. Yes, ma'am. Blaine, you forgot your snack for work. Bye, Mama, Camille said as she dropped the bag on his books, kissed Solomon goodbye, and headed out the door. Hold on 1 minute, young lady. Come here. Oh, Mama. Girl, you better bring your narrow behind back in here. Camille came back in the house with her head bowed. Camille, look at me. Camille raised her head. Girl, if you don't go upstairs and wash that stuff off of your face, But mama, everybody's wearing it. Please, mama. No. You're 13 years old. You have beautiful skin, Camille. Why you want to go and mess it up? But mama, everybody's wearing it. And if everybody jumps off a bridge, you gonna jump too? No, mama. Mama, please let me wear it. I said go wash your face, Camille. And you better not let me see no makeup on those school pictures either. I mean it. And you better smile like you mean it too. I ain't paying for no ugly pictures. Now get on before you make everybody late. Camille sucked her teeth. Girl, you gonna swallow them teeth or be picking them up off the floor? One, Eve said, eyeing her sharply. They may as well go on. I'll probably beat them to school anyway, she said, sulking as she slowly walked up the stairs. Get the molasses out your ass, girl. Lord, that girl just dying to be grown. Y'all better go on home. Go on now. You sure, Eve? I don't mind waiting on her. We still got some time, Don Paul said, looking at his watch. Nah, she wasn't going to ride no way, Don Paul. If that girl don't run first thing in the morning, she'll be grumpy all day. And I swear, I can't take it, Eve said, as if the thought exhausted her. All right, then, I'll be right back. All right, me and Solomon will be here. Would you like some breakfast too, Don Paul? Eve asked as she kissed her children goodbye. Love some. Thank you, he said, unconsciously scanning her frame. That's all you getting, Don Paul. Don Paul didn't answer Eve. Instead, he gazed in her warm brown eyes. Eve felt her heart pounding as she looked in his eyes and felt her walls contract. Don Paul, please don't do this to me, she almost pleaded as she put Solomon down, watched him run into the living room and climb upon his rocking horse. Don Paul shut the door slightly. He pulled Eve toward him and held her in his arms for the first time in 19 years. You still feel the same. Don Paul closed his eyes and inhaled her scent. Girl, I ain't never stopped loving you. Ain't one day passed I ain't thought about you. Ain't one night I didn't miss making love to you, he said, cupping her face between his hands. Eve felt warm tears streaming down her face, and Don Paul kissed each one. You mean to tell me you ain't never thought about me, Eve? Not even once. Eve placed her hands on top of his and caressed them. How could I ever forget you, Don Paul? You were my first man, my first love. Don Paul leaned down slowly and kissed her tenderly on the lips. I want to thank you for keeping the peace for me when Solomon was born. I know it was you who stopped Margaret and her people from coming to my door. I love you, Eve. Ain't never stopped. Girl, I'd give my life to protect you. You knew I would handle it, didn't you? Yes, I did. I knew you would. I could feel you just like I felt you when you pulled in front of my house the night you came to take Blaine home. Don Paul took Eve in his arms and kissed her passionately. Everything was the same. Her welcoming, small, full lips were soft and warm to him. He heard her moan when he parted her lips with his tongue, and she greedily sucked on it. Don Paul wanted time to stop right then and there so he could cherish this moment forever. Ah, Eve, I've missed you, he said between kisses. Their kiss was interrupted as the truck's horn brought them back to reality. Don Paul, I ain't no boy no more, Eve. I'm a man. Eve glided her hands over his back, and felt his muscles tighten. The kid's gonna be late, Don Paul, she said, forcing herself to pull away from him. Baby. Eve walked away from him and retrieved Solomon from the rocking horse. She walked onto the porch and adjusted him on her hip. Don Paul composed himself and soon followed. I'll be back, Eve, he said as he kissed his grandson on the forehead. Eve was silent. You still offering that breakfast? Yes, Don Paul, but that's all you getting. She and Solomon waved goodbye to everyone in the truck. Don Paul got in his truck and pulled off slowly. He adjusted his rearview mirror so he could still see Eve. He saw Camille step onto the porch, and he watched Eve inspect her face. If you think I ain't gonna taste you just one more time before I close my eyes and leave this earth, Eve Sinclair Harrison, you are most definitely mistaken. Mistaken. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of chapters 7 and 8. I hope you enjoyed it. My niece, my eldest niece, no doubt, Shakiva. Hey, Kiva Key. Mwah. Thank you for joining me. And this is your favorite book. Yes, Them's Daughters. Thank you for coming and supporting your auntie. Yes. And so just to remind you all, you can purchase each of the novels and download an ebook on my website by going to www.nubianromance.com, and you can purchase Angel Fire, Cousins, Deja Vu Desires, and Letters. Yes. And remember that Letters and Deja Vu Desires and Cousins, these are for book club reading only or for groups. So thank you to those who have DM'd me because you want personal group readings. I thank you so much for that. Please don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nubian Romance Novels, and subscribe. So in case you're just out surfing, looking for something to do and you're not on Facebook, you can still review all of these Angel Fire and and Them's Daughters videos, and you can look at them. And don't forget, the person who shares and has the most likes will receive a free autographed copy of Them's Daughters. And so with the book club members, the one who gets the book club together, or if you are already in a book club, or if you are coordinating a group of 5 or more to read, whichever book you would like for me to read to you, that person will be the one to receive the personal autographed copy for that reading. I thank you so much for joining. I don't take it lightly at all that you are spending your time with me, or that you come back later on to watch the videos. You didn't have to do it, but you did anyway. So I thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again on Saturday for chapters 9 and 10 of Them's Daughters at 7:00 p.m. Thank you. You all be safe out there and practice social distance. Peace.